Just about every contractor I know is out there dying to get their hands on a big project, a huge dollar amount. Well, guess what? I got one, $500,000 worth, and it almost sank my company. And in this video, I'm going to break it down. What happened? What went wrong? A little hint, it was a $500,000 project with an HOA, and my man, it went south, and it almost took my business down with it. Here's what I want you to know. If you own a restoration company and you're even thinking about doing business with HOAs or property managers, you do not want to miss this video. Let's go.
I will tell you guys a quick story. I landed an HOA project and I had worked on this deal for 12 to 18 months. And this is one reason why I don't like HOAs and property managers. And this is why. This will burn you. So I spent 12 to 18 months putting this deal together, okay? And when you work with a HOA or a board, guys, there's a series of meetings you have to go to and go through. Money has to be appropriated and approved, okay? Money has to be appropriated and approved. And I figured out my point of contact over there. His name was Teddy, okay? It's been several years. Teddy and I worked together, and I put this deal together over the course of about a year with Teddy. And I went after work, 6 to 8 p.m. multiple times to meet with the board of the HOA to put together this deal. It was a renovation plan for a condo association, okay? So these are hard to put together, and the bad news is they're hard to put together. The good news is once you got one, you're locked in because they ain't gonna go to somebody else because you did all the heavy lifting. And the board trusts you, not some other joker. So I went ahead and put all that time and energy in doing it, and I did. I sunk all that time and energy into doing it. And I wound up getting rewarded with over a $500,000 contract. It was like 565. I don't remember what it was, between 550 and 580, something like that. Okay. So I got awarded this contract, and it was going to be to do a series of repairs on the exterior. And so once you get these funds appropriated, then you put together the draw schedule. You are home free, my man. Dog, you are good. Right? Wrong. So for me, here's what happened. Once it got time, we got everything approved. Sweet. Okay. Shane even started spending money that money was coming in. Right. I got the money appropriated, got everything set up. And right as we got ready to kick off the project, they switched my project manager for the community from Teddy to this other douchebag. I don't even remember who he was. Okay. Can't remember his name, but, just didn't work. Okay. They changed my point of contact in the 11th hour, and the deal started going wonky, and ultimately it fell apart. Okay. And we had already begun. And so we were mid project on this thing. Okay. And here's the moral of the story. This guy came in, and I think he came in wanting to earn a name for himself with the company, with the HOA, with all of that. And so he wanted to make a name for himself by maybe trying to save money on an existing project that was already approved. I don't know what his true goal was, but it was something. But it certainly was not aligned to my interest. I can tell you that. And so because we had this whole deal put together, dog, it was all good. Bro, we had on this project, it was probably a dozen buildings. All these buildings needed work. So I charted out building 1 through 12. And then each building probably had a dozen units. And so I would write north, south, east, facing exteriors, what all needed to occur on what unit, what window, with pictures. I went through a lot of detail to explain to them what I was going to do. What was my contract for fulfillment? Okay. Because I didn't want this thing to go sideways. I've been part of these before that weren't great, and I knew how to make it great. So I tried to make a condo great again. Forget MAGA. I tried MACA. Make a condo great again. I don't know if that was the true acronym or not, but I tried. So I put all this together, and it was good. It was good. It went through all the board meetings, and the president liked it. The vice president liked it. But then there's a new cowboy in town, okay? A new maverick.
Hey guys, real quick, in case you didn't know, I help people just like you grow and scale your water damage restoration business. If you are interested in me helping you grow and scale your company, go to workwithshane.com. We hop on a 15-minute call to see if we're a good fit. Workwithshane.com. Now, let's go back to the video.
And this maverick, basically, it was obvious after we broke ground. And I had a project manager running the project for me, who ultimately wound up not being in my company, which was another really good indication that he sucked as a human being. But anyway, that's for another story. Okay. But he He wasn't executing it the way he should. And here's another moral of that story. Bro, you got to choke this thing out. You got to put the baby to bed. Okay. Get that deal, execute it, like get it put together. But when you put that project in a headlock, don't let it move. Don't let it squirm to the right. Don't let it squirm to the left. Because when it squirms to the right a little bit, it gets loose. When it squirms to the left, it gets more loose. And what you learn is if you ever been in a tight wrestling match with somebody and this dude is trying to get out and you're trying to choke him out, the more he wiggles, he's getting loose. And you'll see, it's just a matter of time. Once he starts breaking free of that grip, there's only one way this thing ends. He's about to slam your ass. That's what's going to happen. He's getting loose. And you are better off if you watch MMA. If you're on top of this dude and you're wrestling him, okay, and you start to lose your grip, you're better off to push him away while you still have a chance. Because I don't know how and why it goes from you're on top, you're on bottom, but that's what happens. And this dude is going to bite you and he's going to reverse everything. And that's what I told Dan. You know, don't let this happen. Choke it out. Establish control. I already did that. Maintain control. Don't let it loose. He let it loose. And here's the lesson I learned. Once it gets loose, you ain't getting that genie back in the bottle. And that's what happened. Even though daddy put the deal together, it's hard to keep it from dying. Okay. So this project wound up getting squirrely. And ultimately we took our first draw, like 20 grand. And then after that, we had a second draw come up for like, I don't know. It was like either $1.90 or something like that. And they weren't honoring our obligation, right? Like you could tell getting the second draw was going to be a problem. Okay. Getting the draw was going to be a problem, and it was continually a problem. And this is also where I learned this story. Y'all have heard me say, if you pull off a project before you're done, in most states, you are violating your own contract. If you begin a project and you pull off before you're done, you are violating your own contract because your contract says you're going to start the work and complete it. It says nothing about stopping. So, but I stopped, and that was a problem. Okay. So anyway, it became clear that they weren't meeting their deadline. And I got to a point where like, what do I do? And in this case, I couldn't go complete a $500,000 project or more with 20 grand. So like I was in a rock and a hard place. So maybe in that contract, I should have put together some other terms, some separation terms, but I didn't do that. So anyway, but the moral of the story is don't work with HOA, snakes and rats. It's not get better separation terms. Does that make sense? Because if you know you're going to get a divorce, why would you ever get married? You know what I mean? But anyway, going back to this, they owed me between 140 and 190. It had been months since I had been paid. And that was a lot of money for me at this time in my business. And I needed that cash real bad, like so bad. And I needed some cash. And here's what wound up happening. I believe I took about $40,000 for the 140 or 190, whatever that was. I took pennies on the dollar, dude. Why? Why did I do that? Because $40,000 would pay a lot of bills and I needed the cash. Okay. And so here's what I'm telling you. When that person has all the leverage on you, and the longer you wait to get paid, the more you're going to be willing to take off to get paid. Okay. The longer they owe you the money and the higher the dollar amount is, the further those pants go around your ankles, the further you're bent over the barrel. And I'm telling you, you will take a lower amount the longer you go. And that's what I did. And I let it go because I needed the money. And that was a tough lesson to learn. So HOA suck. They will kill you for $1. And always stay ahead of your cash, dog. Stay ahead of your cash. And I didn't do that.
Guys, if you didn't already know, the two biggest problems you're going to have in owning a restoration company are this. Number one, getting consistent water damage jobs coming in the door. Number two, getting paid what you're worth for those water damage jobs. For that reason, I'm addressing both those problems with these videos to my left or right. On one side, it's about getting jobs. On the other side, it's about getting paid. Go over there, click the link. I'll see you in the next video.